Hi everyone, my name is Jokoya Kennedy and this is my technique demonstration video. I will be going over the technique Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT. You might also know it as like the tapping technique. I'm really excited to share this with you guys just because I just learned about it a few weeks ago, never heard of it before, but I just learned about it and it's been great. I've used it with clients at my job, especially a lot of the ones who have those really bad anger outbursts, which I love just because it's kind of hard to get them to refocus their brain once they have an outburst of anger if something doesn't go how they expect it. So what I like about it is that it's kind of I've been able to help them refocus, help them vent their emotions about the issue that they were feeling, and kind of just get them to kind of it's kind of like a reset recharge thing. And I also like it because you're assessing how you feel from the beginning of it until you've completed all the rounds of tapping. So I like that in the beginning, that they can say before we started this, I was at a 10, but by the time they go through 3 or 4 different rounds of the tapping, they can almost bring it down to a 4, which is good, especially for because I work with adolescent males, so it's hard to get them to kind of bring their anger level down. So it's just it's something new, it's refreshing, something they haven't tried before, so that's why I like it. So basically when you go through the EFT technique, basically what you're doing is you're doing a series of tapping on your hand, your head, and all around your face, and then also there's a spot underneath your armpit. When you're going through it, you can do either side of when you do your eyebrow, you can do over here or you can do over here, just whatever you feel as though. But before you get into the tapping things, the first thing you want to do is identify the issue. So I've seen videos where the issues have been anything from soreness in your shoulders and your knees to dealing with issues with weight loss and anxiety and depression. So it can be used across the board. But basically the first thing you're doing is identifying the issue. So your issue may be I'll just use me for an example. So one of my issues that I can say is I feel anxious because I have so much homework to do. So that's a good one for me. I always feel anxious when I have homework due. Just because I want to make sure that I'm getting everything done and handed in on time and getting a good grade. So so we'll just use that one. But you can do anything from like I said, you can do any issue. I feel sad when I see my mom in the hospital, or over a soreness is I got this soreness in my knee from soccer. So any sort of thing that you want to start out with, whatever you want to identify your issue. So that's the first thing. And then when you identify your issue, you also want to give it a rating from 0 to 10 for how you feel, especially if it's anger based or even soreness, because with the tapping, a lot of it is well, not a lot of it, but it's based on you're tapping like acupuncture sort of thing. So it's using that, so you just want to make sure that you give it an assessment. So I can say my anxiety level for the deadline for my homework is an 8. So I'll just say so you'll just say I feel anxious because I have homework due, and right now my anxiety is on an 8. And just make sure you remember that number, just because once you're going through the different rounds of tapping, you want to make sure that at the end of it you're assessing what how your anxiety level is too, just because it's you want to get it to a point where it's maybe anywhere between 0 to 4. You want to make sure that's where your level is at, and that's how you know the tapping technique is working, or you'll find out that it might not be working for you. So like I said, you give it a number, and then is when like you'll start like the tapping process. So your first acupuncture point is gonna be like the karate chop, or like the fleshy part. Sorry, the fleshy part of your hand. So it's kind of like this outer point. And then you can either tap like this with your whole palm, or you can just go like this. And I'm gonna go back through everything, just so you guys know. But just make sure you're tapping along with me while I'm first pointing out everything. So the first part, like I said, the first point that you're gonna do is this. And you're just tapping, not too hard, not too soft, but just on the fleshy part. And then while you're tapping, you're gonna use the statement freeze. And the statement freeze is kind of like the phrase that kind of like sets you up for feeling better, essentially. So like while I'm tapping right here, it's like, even though I have this anxiety about my homework being due, that I still love and accept myself. And like I said, you're going to say it 3 times, and you can like change it up if you want to. So even though I have this anxiety about getting my homework done, I still accept myself. Even though I have this anxiety, I still love myself. So like I said, you're going to use that statement 3 times, and you're still going to be tapping right here. So after you do the karate chop point, you're going to move on to the other points, and there's 9 points in total. And then, like I said, you just go through them one by one. You don't have to use the statement of like loving and accepting yourself while you're doing these other points, but while you're doing the other points, you're kind of like venting about like your emotions behind the issue that you're having. So even though I have this anxiety about getting my homework done, I know that I can get it done, and I know that I'm gonna get a good grade, and I know that all my hard work is gonna pay off at the end. So I'm kind of just like venting, kind of like getting my emotions out about everything, and then you're kind of just like reminding yourself to feel safe about everything too. So that's the other thing. So after you move on from the karate chop, the next point that you're going to go to is your top of your eyebrow. And again, you can do like this side or that side, whichever side you pick. So I'm just going to do my left side. So I'm just going to be like, tapping with one finger. Well, I'll use 2 fingers. So you're tapping with 2 fingers, or you can use all 4 of your fingers to tap. And then while you're tapping, you're like I said, you're just venting about the emotions. Even though I'm sorry. So even though like I got this anxiety going on, like I know that it's all gonna be worthwhile. And you're just like I said, you're lightly tapping. And then once you move from the top of the eyebrow, you're going to guide your fingers down to the end of your eyebrow, and you're going to rest your hand right on the bone right by your eye, and then you're going to tap there. And again, while you're tapping, you're just you're expressing your emotions behind the issue. Oh my goodness, when I get anxiety, my mind starts racing, and I hate when my mind races, because then I lose focus. But you know what? I love myself. I accept myself. I know it's all going to be worth it. I know that I don't need to overthink things, because I know I'm going to get it done. And then once you move from the end of your eye, then you're going to come down, follow your face down, and you're going to come right here, right underneath your nose, right where that bone is. And again, you're just lightly tapping, still venting about the emotions behind the issue that you're feeling. So, even though I have this anxiety going on about school, and even though, like, it stresses me out, I already know that it has to get done, and I'm just going to get done, and I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to move on to the next thing. I'm not going to let it mess up my evening, And then once you move from here, from underneath your nose. You're going to come down here right between the bottom of your lip and your chin. So it's like right in the middle piece, right where that bone is, right there. So, and you're continuously tapping, continuously venting about the emotions behind the issues of doing homework. So just keep tapping, talking about the different emotions. And then once you come from here, you're going to go to your collarbone. Sorry. So you're going to go to your collarbone. You're not actually going to be on your collarbone, but you're going to do this part like right here, like right where these two bones are. And then I like using my whole hand just because, like, I don't know, I just rather not do one side. I just rather use my whole hand. So it's kind of like you resting your hand right here, and it's kind of like where a man would tie a tie is where you're going to rest your hand. And you're just lightly tapping, and while you're tapping, you're still venting about the emotions. And then once you move from your collarbone, you're going to come like right underneath here, underneath your arm. You're not necessarily going to be under your armpit, but maybe like a hands width down. The hands lift down, there you go. So you're tapping right here, and while you're tapping, you're still like just venting about the emotions of like getting homework done and having like the anxiety, and you know, just reminding yourself that, you know what, like, that's all gonna worth it at the end. Like, and you get to walk across that stage, you know, these late nights of studying and getting these readings done, it's all worth it. And then once you're done tapping right here, you're gonna move to the top of your head. Again, I like using all 4 fingers for the top of the head. And we're still just lightly tapping, expressing your emotions, getting your feelings out, you know, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration, anxiety, depression, you know, whatever the case may be. You're just lightly tapping. And then after that, just want to take a deep breath. And let it out. And then you just assess how you're feeling. You know, I was at an 8 at the beginning of everything, but now I've moved down to a 6. So my anxiety level is still kind of high, so maybe I should go back through and just continue to vent my emotions and go through the procedure one more time. So I'll just go through the points quickly one more time just so you guys are aware, because there were 9 different ones. I know sometimes I forget the order of them. So start with the karate chop, the fleshy part of your hand, and you're tapping, and this is where you're really saying the I statement. You know, even though I have this anxiety about getting my homework, about getting my homework done, I still love and accept myself. Even though I have this anxiety about getting my schoolwork done, I accept myself. Even though I have this anxiety about getting my schoolwork done, I accept myself. And once you go from your hand, you're going right here at the top of your eyebrow. And you're tapping, and you're not saying that, really saying the I statement, but you're just venting your emotions behind the issue that you're having. And then you move down to this point of your bone right here at the end of your eye, not on your temple, just at the end of your eye. And you're still tapping. And you start tapping. Then you come down here, move to your chin. Or not your chin, underneath your nose, I'm sorry. Then move down here between the bottom of your lip and your chin, the bottom of your lip and your chin. Tapping. Come down here to your collarbone, or where a man would tie his tie. Move to underneath your arm. And finally back to the top of your head. Take a deep breath. Alright, so now my anxiety level is at a 4. So, you know, again, you just keep going through the rounds of tapping just until you get it down to anywhere between 0 and 4. Hopefully you get it to 0, but anywhere between 0 and 4 is totally fine. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys learned something new. I definitely did. Definitely open to feedback and any questions that you guys might have. Thanks for watching.